Hi, welcome to the running channel. I'm Kate and today I'm going to be taking a first look at the brand new Nike Alphafly Next Percent shoes. These have been a hot topic for quite some time now, but we're going to be taking a totally honest look at them and learning everything that you could possibly need to know about these shoes. But first of all, if you're new around here, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you tap the bell icon, you'll get notified when we upload new videos, which we do every week. So I just thought we would have a little look at how they come in the box. So as you can see, they come with their very own swanky little bag. These are very unique shoes. I guess you need to keep them nice and pristine. And here they are. Now, as you can see, they are some crazy looking shoes. You can see the kind of AirPod system right at the bottom there. And then you can see that you can see the light coming through the fly knit or the mesh. You can see how light they are. They look probably like they'd be really heavy because they're so big, but they are ridiculously light. Now, your first question might well be, why should I care about these shoes? Just another pair of running shoes, right? Well, no, these are not just any old running shoes. These, or a prototype version of them, are the shoes that Eliud Kipchoge wore when he broke 2 hours for the first time in human history for the marathon last October in Vienna. Now, they're quite controversial at the time and still now because they have this very unique design and this very high, what they call a stack height. And what happened was that after he'd run the sub-2 marathon, the IAAF then said that they were legal to be worn in competition. That means that in future races, whenever we have future races again, elite athletes can wear them and they could be used to set legitimate world records. Eliud Kipchoge's world record wasn't a kind of an official one because it wasn't run under all these different conditions. So in the future, we're going to be seeing probably a lot more of these shoes. Why is that controversial? Well, if you're a Nike athlete, obviously you can wear these shoes, you'll be provided with them and you can run with them. If you're not a Nike athlete, then you have different shoes. And if these do really give you that much of an advantage, then you could see that as unfair. So that's why they've been a kind of hot topic. But most importantly for us, they're now available, or will be very soon, for us normal runners. So let's learn more about that. Okay, so what's different about this new shoe? Well, first of all, just a kind of reminder or a little thing about the previous Nike shoes that have also been massively popular and broken lots of records. The kind of first one was the 4%. They had the carbon fiber plate running through them, so you get that real kind of propulsion as you run. The next one that kind of really came out was the Next Percent. Again, the carbon fiber plate, probably not such a huge difference between those first two. But this new one, the Alphafly, they say there's sort of three main things about it that make it unique. First is the full-length carbon plate running through it. Again, you can't see that, but it kind of gives you that drive forward. The second thing is these airbags, these kind of little pods in it, and they're the Zoom pods. There's one on each side, and there's almost like a sort of cutout in the middle, so there's very, very light. There's not a lot of extra stuff in there to weigh it down. And then the third thing is the cushioning, and that's the Zoom X cushioning, and that's supposed to be super absorbent of force, but also springs back and gives you lots of energy return. And then there's the actual fabric that it's made out of, which is called, they're calling atom knit. You can see it's pretty fine. It's more of a kind of, it feels more like a fabric than a plastic. So more like if you're familiar with Nike Flyknit, it feels a bit like that. But it's supposed to be super breathable, so your feet don't overheat. And it's also supposed to repel water, so you shouldn't really theoretically have any problem if it rains. And the sole, as you can see, does have a bit more grip. The 4% shoes, you can see that, I mean, they are worn, so this isn't like how they are new, but you can see they have kind of much less grip than these ones. And I think a lot of the changes that they made were based on feedback that they got from some of the top athletes, including Eliud Kipchoge. When you put on the 4%, the original ones, and the Vaporfly, you really feel that kind of forward lean when you're standing in them. So I'm interested to know, because these have such a high stack height. Quite tight fit. So really snug. Yeah, so the 4% and the next percent, when you stand up in them, you really feel a kind of forward lean, like you almost sort of have to start running, ridiculous as that sounds. These ones, because they have such a high stack height on sort of both sides, I'm wondering if they feel quite the same. Wow, you do feel like you're actually standing on a platform. Whoa! Apparently I can't balance on one leg either. That's definitely down to me and not Nike. Okay, so you see they do have laces, even though the fit is very snug. You can make it tighter or looser depending on what you need. You definitely couldn't put those on without laces. Okay, so wow, yeah, I don't really feel that sort of forward lean that I get in the other ones, which is quite interesting. But you can feel that kind of rocking motion. You can feel that your foot kind of wants to do that. Okay, so I am heading out the door to do my first run in these very, very fancy shoes. I'm slightly, I feel very self-conscious because they are incredibly unique looking and I guess pretty weird looking, especially if you don't know what they are. But it's a sunny day and I'm just going to take them for a little 5k or something to see how they feel, maybe do some faster strides at the end to see how they feel when you're kind of trying to put some speed in. Here we go. Okay, I'm home, sitting on my front doorstep in the sun, getting my breath back. It's really, really hot today, so I am sweating buckets. First thoughts. They're like the previous Nike Vaporflies and 4% next percent in that it's really hard to run slowly in them. There's something about them that just makes you want to pick up the pace a bit, even if you're just trying to, well, not jog, but like test them out. They feel, I'm more aware of them than I am of the next percent shoes, which I, full disclosure, absolutely love. I've set PBs in my 10k PB in those shoes, but you know, I've also set PBs in other shoes too, non-Nike ones. So, but these ones I'm a bit more aware of them. They feel, I don't know if it's just because they need a bit of give, you know, shoes always feel a bit tighter to start with. Weirdly, I get that it's almost like the sensation of heaviness, except that they're not heavy at all, they're really not. But then also it's kind of psychological, isn't it? You're wearing new shoes, they're supposed to be amazing, you're supposed to go super fast. You're kind of thinking about that all the time. It's hard to relax and just run. So yeah, they feel incredibly bouncy. You can really feel that kind of propulsion, even though they don't feel, when you're still, they don't feel kind of as, your heel doesn't feel as stacked up as it does on the next percent. It feels more like you're on a platform, but it's kind of when you run, it's like a kind of rocking platform that really propels you forward. So I guess what I'm saying is that if you run in the 4% or the next percent shoes, they maybe won't feel so super different to you. But if you've never run in any of these shoes, they are a completely unique sensation. They're not like any other shoe that I've ever tried, and I've tried a lot of shoes. Right, so what do I think? What's my summary? Well, I am a huge fan of the Vaporfly, the next percent shoes. So to me, it's a big thumbs up. That won't be the case for everybody. Some people might not like this sensation of this really big kind of platform that you're on. A lot of people prefer to stay kind of closer to the ground than your traditional racing flat shoes. Some people don't like all the technology. They prefer to keep it simple. So, you know, it's not for everybody. And of course, they do come with a pretty hefty price tag. Are they worth it? How much have you got to spend? For a lot of people, they'll be out of reach. For some people, they've got the cash and, you know, they want their PBs. It's worth it to them. So ultimately, that's an individual decision. Will I wear them again? Yeah, definitely. I do feel like I need to get used to them a bit more than perhaps I did with the Next Percent. But maybe that's because the Next Percent were more similar to the previous ones than these are. These are maybe like a real sort of step change forward or upwards or onwards or faster. Or so I definitely feel like I need to get used to them a bit more. But I also feel like I could really do some nice sort of speed for me in them. So pretty amazing shoe, really. I mean, when you think about the kind of shoes of 20, 30 years ago, it's incredible what they do now.